Hi everybody, welcome to Vinyasa Flow and Yin and Restorative Yoga, Flow and Restore. My name is Michelle Chua. For this practice, you'll want to have 2 yoga blocks, a strap, a blanket or beach towel, and a pillow or bolster, and maybe even a cleared wall space for those of you that would like to practice legs up the wall towards the Yin portion. And if you don't have a cleared wall space, and you only need about the height of your hips down to your feet, nothing higher than that. You could also use a couch, a bed, a chair, a stack of pillows. If you want to grab even more pillows, that might be comfortable. Let's begin in a comfortable seat. So we're still drawing on the energy of yesterday's full moon in Aquarius and drawing from different sources of information, from the magic of I to rising woman. Here's a little bit about this particular full moon. During this full moon, we may feel an intense drive to move forward, to innovate, to break out of old, outdated structures and do things a new way. While at the same time, the lesson is to slow down and make methodical, well thought out decisions. So much of what we've been talking about in the past few classes this week is related to this. Aparigraha, non-attachment, non-clinging, letting go of outdated patterns of thought and body energy, and taking a look at how we approach things energetically, which is always part of the physical practice. If we remember that the word asana inherently implies a balance of effort with ease, vairagya and abhyasa. Abhyasa means steady effort. So there's the discipline of aligning our bodies and challenging ourselves when we need to physically. And then there's also the aparigraha aspect, which is vairagya, having an ease to it, allowing the posture to breathe, allowing the situation to breathe, allowing ourselves to breathe. So how do we dance the two together within each physical posture, and then transfer this into how we deal with change? How are we approaching any area of our life in which change may be happening either now or soon, or maybe there's something we're hoping to change? So start in a comfortable seat. Turn out the thighs. External rotation is going to be another recurring theme, also called hip openers. And if it helps to be more comfortable, you can sit up on a folded blanket or a pillow. And then really root down through the left and right sides of your pelvis. Lift up from the base of your spine through each vertebra, through the back of your neck, back of your skull. And let the shoulders soften back and down, so you're inviting an openness right here at your heart space. Opening the space for the breath to flow naturally, freely. And now let's be still. Allow a moment to scan your physical body in your mind's eye. Feeling into your physical state. Notice the sensations of the breath as you just let it be. And through the breath, feel into your energetic state. Bring your attention to your mind, the energy of your thoughts, and observe your mental and emotional state. Acknowledging what's present for you in these different koshas or layers of self. I invite you to join your hands together at your heart center and call to mind something that you can offer gratitude for. Perhaps it's the ability to practice yoga right now. Let the energy of gratitude empower the intention you'd like to set for this full moon practice. Is there any area in your life in which you're inviting change or in the midst of change? Let's continue to practice balancing effort and ease with the breath, inhaling deeply through the nose and exhaling slowly through the mouth. Now, you might choose somebody that you care about or a community or cause important to you to dedicate today's practice to. And together, let's share support in community, joining our voices with 3 chants of Om. Inhale deeply. Om. Steadying your attention on the breath, invite a gentle whispering sound to it by closing your lips, softly narrowing the back of your throat, and sustaining your breath evenly in and out through the nose. This is the practice called Ujjayi Pranayama, a means to calm the nervous system and focus the mind. So infuse in the qualities that you can hear in your own breathing, a balance of effort with ease and letting go. And let's bring that into the rest of the practice. Coming down to your hands and knees, you might want to have your blocks framing the top of your mat. And then set your fingers flat on the ground so that your shoulders are stacked over your wrists. But step your knees a couple inches behind your hips. Let's start to move the spine in cat-cow, breathing in. Glide your chest through your upper arms and coil it up. Look up, cow pose. Breathing out, press down through your palms and contract your belly, doming your back as you drop your head to round, cat pose. Try a few more rounds. Inhale. Glide the shoulder blades down the back and lift your heart and gaze. Exhale, lift your navel, dropping your head and tucking your tailbone. Keep going on your own as you listen to your breath pace, synchronizing your body to it. After your next exhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back, entering Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. You might spend the first few breaths pedaling your feet gently in place to warm up the backs of the legs. And to that, you might add swiveling your hips left and right like you're dancing the twist, stretching into the sides of your lower back, outer hips. You might even softly shake and nod your head, loosening your neck as you spread your fingers flat, rotating your triceps or outer upper arms downward towards the mat, inviting space across the shoulder blades as you soften the back of the neck. Then bend your knees, lift your heels and hips high, look forward past your fingertips, empty this breath. Then walk or lightly jump to the front of your mat, standing in a forward fold with your feet at least hips distance apart and parallel. Bend your knees a lot here. Take hold of opposite elbows or let the arms hang freely, whatever your body is needing right now to just add a little more gentle movement. Is there anything feeling stagnant or stuck? You could start to shake out, maybe fluttering the lips if there's tensing in the jaw. Or shaking the head, shimmying the shoulders, shaking the hands, maybe even wiggling the hips side to side. You might even release a sound out with a breath. Ha! Vocalizing, another way to let energy move through you. Anything that might be needing to. Ha! Couple more breaths. Ha! And place your fingertips either on blocks about a foot in front of your feet or on the ground ahead of you. As you firm in the belly, shift your weight forward and press down with your hands as you inhale to stretch your spine about parallel to the floor, gliding the shoulder blades down your back in Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale, fold over your legs, shifting your weight forward as you drop the head, Uttanasana. This time, press to your feet and inhale, sweep your arms forward, rising all the way up to stand. Roll your shoulders behind your ears and down, coiling your chest up as you gaze towards the full moon. Exhale, join your hands down the center line of your body as if blessing yourself with your practice today. Land the thumbs at your sternum. Come back to your intention that you set. Breathe it in. And as you exhale, let it expand. Let's move to the breath in Surya Namaskar, the first sequence. Inhale, sweep your arms forward and coil your chest up into a gentle back bend, hugging the front ribs in. Exhale, bow from your hips, then lower your fingertips to the ground and inhale, step your left knee behind you to a kneeling lunge and look up. Hold your breath as you step into plank pose. Then exhale as you lower your knees, chest, then chin, sticking the tailbone up, hugging your elbows towards your ribs. Inhale, slide your belly all the way to the ground for Cobra. Press the tops of your feet down as you roll the shoulders back. Tuck your toes. Exhale, lift the hips to downward facing dog. Inhale, step your left foot forward beside your left thumb. Lower your back knee and look up. Exhale, step your right foot forward and fold. Inhale, sweep your arms forward, rise into a gentle standing back bend in Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, join your hands at your heart in Padasana. Let's take one more round of this sequence. Inhale the arms overhead, dropping the shoulders, stretch the tailbone towards the space between your heels. Exhale, fold from your hips. Lower your fingertips. Inhale, step the right knee back to your kneeling lunge and look up. Hold your breath as you step to plank pose. Exhale, lower your knees, chest, then chin. Ashtangasana. Inhale, glide to the ground and roll the shoulders back. Bhujangasana, Cobra. Exhale, tuck your toes and lift the tailbone back. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog. Inhale, step your right foot beside your right thumb and lower your back knee, look up. Exhale, step your left foot forward and bow. Press to your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms forward, rising all the way up into a back bend in Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, join your hands again in Padasana. Moving to our second sequence of sun salutations. Inhale, arms forward. Once more, back bending. Exhale, forward fold. This time, press into your blocks or the ground ahead of you. And inhale, stretch your spine forward to Ardha Uttanasana. Step back into plank pose. Pause for 3 breaths there, with legs straight or knees on the ground directly under your hips. Stack the shoulders over your wrists and lengthen the back of your neck by gazing on the ground ahead of your thumbs. Lift the sides of your belly and waist As you exhale to glide forward and hug your elbows towards your ribs, bending them 90 degrees to Chaturanga Dandasana, either lower all the way for Cobra or flip your toes here and enter Upward Facing Dog. Exhale to Downward Facing Dog. Let your body be still this time. Steady your gaze. All tools for concentrating as you rebalance your breath. 3 cycles. When you hear the third, exhale, then walk or lightly jump to the front of your mat. There, press with your fingertips and inhale, lift the chest, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Press with your feet, inhale, sweep your arms, rise up into Urdhva Hastasana with back bend. Exhale, hands together at your heart. Continue one more of this sequence. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, lifting your heart towards the moon. Exhale, Uttanasana, bowing towards the earth. Press with your fingertips. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, expand your heart forward. Walk to plank, glide forward to lower, or float into Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, choose Cobra or Upward Facing Dog. Exhale to Downward Facing Dog. Be still for 3 deep breaths. Downward Facing Dog, bring your feet together so they touch. Then rotate your right thigh externally at the hip. Flexing your right foot, cross the right ankle in front of your left shin or thigh, below or above the left knee, and splay your right thigh further open as you draw your hips further up and back. Hug your front ribs in towards your back. And soften the neck, and let's allow 3 more deep breaths. Notice if your hips might be swaying over to the left. Try to center your hips down the midline of your mat. Deeply inhale. As you exhale, lift your right knee high to the outside of your right upper arm or shoulder. Come forward to plank. Then step your right foot beside your right thumb. High lunge. Inhale, slowly rise up into crescent lunge. Take 1 full breath here. Then drop your left heel and align your right heel to intersect the arch of your left foot for triangle pose. Open the arms wide, straighten the legs. Glide your hips sideways towards your back wall and reach your right hand horizontally forward past the right knee as far as you can before placing that right hand down on the right side of your right shin, on the block or the floor. Stacking your shoulders and wrists, raise your left arm up and spiral your chest slightly to face the sky. Press the crease of your right hip back towards your left outer foot as you send the shoulder blades down your back. Steady your gaze on one spot. You might choose to look up past the left thumb if your neck feels okay with it. Let's give Trikonasana about 4 more deep breaths. How are you balancing effort with ease right now in the context of this asana? And can you listen to that quality in the breath? Look at your right foot, and then exhale, step back to downward facing dog. Let's save the vinyasa for later and bring your feet together to touch in downward dog. Rotate your left thigh externally at the hip. As you flex the foot, cross the ankle in front of your right shin or thigh. Splaying the left thigh open, draw your 2 sitting bones high and back. Send the shoulder blades up and back. And relax your neck. 3 more breaths. Keep flexing your left foot. This helps to stabilize your left knee while we're focusing on turning out at the hip. Inhale fully. As you exhale, hug your left knee high outside your left shoulder or upper arm, gliding forward into plank pose before you gently step the foot beside your left thumb and stay on the ball of your right foot. Then inhale, rise up into crescent lunge. Spin your right heel down and align your left heel to intersect the arch of your right foot. Open the arms wide for triangle pose, straighten the front leg. Glide your hips sideways towards the back wall and reach your left hand towards the front wall, placing that hand on the left side of your left shin where you can stack your shoulders and wrists. Press the crease of your left hip back towards your outer right foot. And in contrast, lengthen your torso forward towards the front wall. Rotate your chest slightly to face the sky and land your eyes with intention for another 4 breaths here in Trikonasana. Gaze down at your left toes, but this time, lower your fingertips at the top of your mat and step the right foot to meet the left. Forward fold. Bring your feet together to touch and bend your knees together, inhaling into chair pose, Utkatasana. Bend your elbows apart and wrap the left elbow over the right elbow over the left. So right elbow on top. Press the backs of the hands against each other or wrap your forearms and palms together. Draw the shoulders down, steady your eyes in one spot, and let's play with balancing in eagle pose. Rotate your left thigh externally at the hip. As you flex your left foot, stretch the leg open before you wrap it over the right leg and bend both knees like chair. You might flex the left foot outside the right leg or tuck the toes behind the right calf. Keep your 2 frontal hip bones evenly facing forward as you stack your elbows and knees down the center line of your body. You might find it helpful to sit lower to steady your balance. Now let's listen to the breath. You more in Garudasana. Ardha Chandrasana as we continue to balance on your right foot. Flex your left foot and bend the left knee in front of you as you stand tall. Place your left hand on your left hip, gaze in front of your mat, and as you extend the left leg back, place the right hand about 6 inches forward and to the right of your right pinky toe on a block or the floor. Turn your chest to face the left wall and press the crease of your right hip back towards your outer left foot. Turning your chest open, you might raise the left arm up. Feel triangle pose within this posture, half moon pose. How is your breathing? So what are some ways that we can balance effort and ease in a posture? One way is being mindful of how we transition in and out of it. Taking our time to set up the foundation of what's touching the ground and then building up from there like an architecture. Take another breath in. Sweep the left arm overhead, look down at your right toes, place your 2 hands on blocks or the floor, and step the left foot beside the right, forward folds. Inhale, lift your chest, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Bend your knees, inhale, sit into chair pose. Bend your elbows apart like a cactus shape. This time, do cross the left elbow over the right and either press the backs of your hands against each other or wrap your forearms and palms. Send the shoulders down. Steady your eyes on one spot to help steady your balance. Balance the breath. Rotate your right thigh externally at the hip, and as you flex the foot, open the leg wide and wrap it over the left. Sitting lower as you turn both of your hip bones to face forward. You might tuck the right toes behind the left calf if that's available. Stack your elbows and knees down the midline of your body. Garudasana, eagle pose. A few more breaths. You might start to visualize before even moving your body into half moon pose. Extending the right leg with a foot flex. Start by bending the right knee in front of you and standing tall. Then imagine the right foot is pressing into the rear wall as you place the right hand on your right hip and place the left fingertips upper left corner of your left pinky toe on the ground or on a block. Turning your chest to face the right wall and stacking your shoulders over your left wrist. Check in with your breathing. Maybe raise the right arm to the sky. Just like we did in triangle, to lengthen the left underside of the torso, press your left hip crease back towards your outer right foot and lengthen your torso forward towards the front wall. Last few breaths. Sweep the right arm overhead as you look at the top of your mat. Place your hands on blocks or the floor and step the right foot next to the left, forward fold. From here, place your hands on your blocks, take the blocks with you, and step the right foot a giant step to the rear of your mat. Parallel your feet to face the wide width of your mat to the right, and let's enter wide-legged forward fold. You can choose to have your hands on blocks or the floor, but make sure that you're allowing your spine to lengthen like a flat back. This could include bending the knees. Press down with your fingertips and inhale, stretch your heart through the gates of your arms, sending the shoulders back. Shift your weight as far forward as you can balance as you exhale to hinge from the hips. You might walk the hands further back where the fingertips line up with your toes, or the heels of your palms slide behind the heels, bending the elbows like chaturanga. And if you're doing the latter and the crown of your head is on the floor and you have no neck issues, you might begin to enter headstand, tripod headstand. If so, keep your arms parallel and use your hands to press the floor away as you lift the shoulders away from the neck, either straddling the legs wide, flexing the feet, or pointing the toes to activate the legs, or entering it like crow pose, where you step the knees onto your upper arms first and either stay there or unfold the legs straight up. Whether your feet are on the ground or lifted, allow another 3 deep breaths in this inversion. Inversions are great ways to shift our perspectives literally and instantaneously, but they also help to shift a lot of things within our systems of blood flow, digestion. So from standing wide-legged forward fold, Prasarita Padottanasana, walk your hands forward and lengthen the spine parallel to the ground. Pause and breathe there. Either hands on blocks or on the floor. Walk your hands towards your right foot and rotate the right thigh externally at the hip. Bending the right knee, rotate the left thigh externally at the hip, straightening the left leg into Skandasana, half squat. Flex the left toes up. So be mindful of your knees. You want to make sure the middle of your kneecaps are always pointing in the same direction as the middle toe beneath them. Bend through both knees to enter a wide-legged squat and transfer your weight onto your left foot as you bend the left knee and curl the right toes up. We're preparing to sit with legs straddled open. Come back to a wide-legged squat, and then glide your heels apart on the floor. And let's enter our first restorative pose, a version of Upavishta Konasana, wide-legged seated forward fold. So first, use your hands to cup the tops of your thighs. Rotate your inner thighs back so your sitting bones can more firmly root down. Slightly lift your frontal hip bones. Rather than letting the pelvis spill forward, lift the frontal part and draw the tailbone down. Keep your knees and toes pointing straight up as we begin to fold forward into this posture. Now you might look for your props. As we fold down, you want to have as many props as you need so you can just kind of collapse into them. So you might start with lots of pillows in front of you like this. You might create an incline out of the pillow by placing a block or two underneath the furthest edge of the pillow so that the lowest part of the incline meets your pelvis. You might grab a blanket, maybe fold up a blanket so that you can rest your forehead down onto it and still breathe. So choose how you're going to set up your props and press down to your pelvis, lift up to your heart, roll the shoulders back and down. Keep your throat open and start to hinge just a little bit forward from the hips, taking your time, breath by breath, to ease into this forward fold. And when you eventually collapse into the props, the shoulders might round a little bit, but make sure they're not tensing where it becomes more difficult to breathe or you start to feel tensing in the neck and shoulders. Make any loving adjustment with your props and body so that you can be here for the next 3 minutes. I'm already watching the clock. Observe any shifting that you feel in your body, any sensations shifting as your body is still. Observe as well any kind of resistance in the body. All good information. Continue, lengthen your breath to the very top with gentle expansion. And balance that length to the very bottom, full release. Still practicing Ujjayi Pranayama here. Notice any sensations happening around your jaw, your eyes, your ears.
Let one more full cycle of breath finish before you begin to press your fingertips into the ground. Then when you're ready, gently lift your forehead, your chest, your belly, slowly lifting your torso.
Let's move the props aside so that we can come down into tabletop pose, hands and knees to the ground. You may want to have a pillow or a block off to the side near the top of your mat that you can easily reach for from hands and knees. Let's prepare for a spinal twist that will open up across the upper back, neck and shoulders, called thread the needle. So the standard version, you keep the knees on the ground as you slide one arm under the opposite elbow. But here's another version you might practice as we continue with the opening of the hips. Stepping the right foot out to the right with the leg straight, spin the right sole flat on the ground and align the inner arch of your right foot with your left kneecap. Now, if you find that as you're setting up this way, it becomes too cumbersome to get into the twist, you could always step the right knee back down and forget about the leg part. So here we go. Inhale, raise your right arm up high. Stay a couple of breaths and feel that broadening of your collarbones, the opening in front of your shoulders. With an exhale, thread your right arm underneath your left bend to elbow. Lower the right side of your head all the way down. If the ground is too far to lower on, place a block or pillow under your right cheek. Flare your left elbow towards the sky as you place your left hand towards the upper left corner of your mat. Level out your hips and height, making sure you're not twisting the pelvis. Instead, you're turning the rib cage, twisting across your waistline where it's safe. Soften the shoulders away from your neck. Now, where do you feel sensations arising or shifting? Maybe close your eyes and scan your body for a moment. And like you're watching a movie, stay with that. Keep witnessing what's happening as you let your body be still for at least another minute here. Keep balancing the breath. And again, listen to one more full cycle of breath before you begin to transition back to tabletop. Let your spine find a neutral position and give it a few breaths here before you switch sides, pausing and observing. Now, if you stepped your right foot out to the right for the first side, do step your left foot out to the left on the second side. So the sole of the foot is flat on the floor, left leg is straight. Inner arch of the foot aligns with your right knee. Then raise your left arm up high and pause for 2 to 3 breaths, broadening across your arms and chest, sending the shoulders down your back. When you're ready, as you exhale, thread your left arm underneath your right bend to elbow. Lower the left side of your head on a block or the ground and flare your right elbow towards the sky. Place your right hand towards the upper right corner of your mat. Then level out your hips. Make sure you're not twisting at your pelvis, but rather at your waistline. Soften the shoulder blades, down your back ribs. And now maybe close the eyes. Drop into where you feel something happening in your body. Might be lots of places, but start with one. Notice what changes in the next minute or so that we stay here longer. As Pema Chodron might say, can you lean into the discomfort? Of course, not pushing yourself into pain or injury. Sometimes change involves discomfort. As we release old, outdated patterns. Sense the breath. Use it as a tool to feel safe in your body. Feel into one more cycle of breath before you begin to transition back to tabletop pose. When you eventually arrive onto hands and knees again, pause there, lengthen the neck, let the spine be neutral, and observe it. Observe the body. Let's come to sit. Whether in hero's pose or legs turned out, whatever's comfortable for you to be able to sit upright and relax. You can give the neck a little more movement and stretch. So rest your hands down on your lap and drop your chin towards your sternum. Maybe close the eyes as you inhale, roll your left ear down to your left shoulder, and gently tilt your chin towards the sky. Exhaling, opposite ear to opposite shoulder, drop your chin towards your sternum. Slowly circle one more in this direction, taking it as slowly as your body needs. When you land the chin to your sternum again, then switch sides or switch direction. Keep lengthening your lower spine here as you're sitting upright. Finish a second circle in this last direction. And then lift up to your crown. Wrap the right arm behind your back, opening up the right collarbone from the sternum, and then place your left fingertips on the right side of your skull. Drop your left ear down to your left shoulder. And either stay here, or as you keep the left hand gently leaning on your skull, start to turn your head to look down underneath the left armpit. And you might stay here. This is what your body needs, or keep the weight of the left hand and start to tilt your gaze up towards the full moon. And you might continue slowly moving the head this way, laterally. Or if you find a direction to gaze that is what you really need right now, stay there for the next 3 breaths. Finish this exhalation before you lift your crown upright and relax the arms. Let's wrap the left arm behind you and broaden the left collarbone from the sternum. Sit up tall. Place the right fingertips on the left side of your skull and gently drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. So the hand is not pushing the head. You're just resting the arm lazily on your head to encourage the tilt. Notice how this feels. Maybe close the eyes, breathe. Maybe you stay right here, or you begin to turn your head so you're looking downward beneath your right armpit. Maybe you stay right there, or you gently turn your head to look upward. So this is a lateral or sideways turn of the skull. And whether you choose to hold still in any of those positions or gently shake the head no a few more times slowly. Let's offer the body another 3 deep breaths. Notice how impactful your presence is to even the subtlest movements. In how you feel energetically. When you're ready, gently lift your skull. And now let's place the hands either on your knees or your lap, just a little bit to hold on to. We're going to practice 3 rounds of cooling, clearing lion's breaths, Simasana Pranayama, before we move into a balancing alternate nostril breathing, Norishodhana Pranayama, both grounding and cooling. So hold on to your knees or thighs. Drink a deep breath in through the nose. Open your mouth wide, stick out your tongue, open the eyes wide, let any sound out. You can even roar it as loud as you can where you live. Inhale. What are you cleansing, decluttering, purifying? Let that release through sound. One more. If you need to situate your body a little differently for Norishodhana, which is going to be a little bit longer, 6 cycles, you might prop your pelvis up on something. So alternate nostril breathing helps to balance the left and right hemispheres of the brain. Calming for the nervous system, helps to awaken energy at your 3rd eye center, which is great for full moon energy, awakening intuition, and connecting with your inner world more deeply. So breathing just through the nose, lips closed, slow but gentle breaths. Rest your left hand on your lap in a mudra that you choose. I often use Pran Mudra, which looks like a peace sign. The index and middle fingers are stuck together and the palm is face up. And that's used to cultivate vital energy. Or you might choose a grounding mudra, thumb and index finger touching and the palm face down. Or an energizing mudra, same shape in the hand, palm face up. So place your left hand in a mudra that you choose, and then the right hand is in Vishnu mudra. That's where you stick out your right thumb, pinky, and ring finger. So when we close the right nostril, we'll use the right thumb. And when we close the left nostril, we'll use the pinky and ring finger like this. All right, you might like to close your eyes and steady your inner gaze at your brow center, Ajna chakra. Imagine the color indigo if you're color oriented. Exhale this breath through the nose. Hold the breath out. Right thumb cover right nostril. Inhale through left. Hold the breath in. Cover left nostril. Exhale through right. Hold the breath. Stay here. Inhale right nostril. Hold the breath. Cover right. Exhale left. Hold. Now you finish the first cycle. Second cycle, inhale left for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Cover left. Exhale right for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Inhale right, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 3, 2, 1. Cover right, exhale left, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 3, 2, 1. Last one together. Inhale left for 6. Hold for 3. Cover left, exhale right for 6. Hold for 3. Inhale right, 6. Hold 3. Cover right, exhale left, 6. And hold for 3. Continue 2 more cycles on your own. Finish slowly at your own pace, and when you do, rest both hands in the same mudra of your choice and sit in stillness, observing the natural breath flow, noticing the effects of Nodi Shodhana Pranayama. We're going to move into our final resting pose, but as I asked at the start, if you have wall space and would like to come into legs up the wall or place your legs up on furniture or a stack of pillows, you can set up that way, and it will continue this cooling lunar yin energy as we rest in stillness. So if you have a wall space, these are curtains, not a wall, but I'll show you a little choreography that I find makes it easier to get into it. You want to sit with one outer hip flush against the wall and then turn over onto your side so you're in a fetal position. Then scoot your 2 sitting bones up against the wall to touch it. And once they're touching the wall, roll onto your back and stretch your legs up onto the wall. Or straddle the legs apart or bend the knees apart, soles of the feet together. You could also choose to step your feet into the wall and take a block or pillow and place that underneath your sacrum, flat part of your lower back, for a bit more elevation of the hips. Resting the hands on your belly here. Now, if you don't have a wall space, like me, you could stack a bunch of pillows and blocks. Sometimes I create a little bench out of 2 blocks and the pillow like a bridge on top. And then you want to have your meatiest part of your calves on that pillow where it's most stable. So the feet are elevated, the legs are elevated higher than the heart. And then you can rest a hand at your heart center and a hand at your lower belly, or turn the palms up by your sides. Make sure the shoulders are relaxed in any position that you're in. So take the time to adjust so that you feel that your body can drop in and relax. Closing your eyes. And when you're ready to be still, allow a slow inhalation through the nose. Fill up gently through all ends of your body in your mind's eye. Hold the breath for a moment, and when you're ready, empty it slowly through your lips. Feel the very bottom, that emptied breath. And then allow the breath to just flow naturally, trusting its natural ebb and flow like the river of life. We'll be here in Shavasana for the next few minutes before our guided meditation practice. Rest here a bit longer with your eyes closed and continue to tune into your physical body. Notice how it's responding to the way you practiced yoga asana today. Bring your awareness to the breath as it naturally comes and goes. And observe how your energy body is responding to your practice. Stay watchful as you begin to perhaps draw your bent knees into your chest. Make a slow transition onto your right side, resting your head on your arm, allowing a few breaths to naturally pass. Feeling into your mental and emotional state and how that's been affected by your practice. Take your time to press your hands into the earth and gently lift your spine. Find a way to sit for a guided meditation of about 10 minutes. A self-inquiry practice after beginning in mindfulness meditation. So let's begin. Feel what you're sitting on through the left and right sides of your pelvis. Allow a feeling of groundedness, both externally and internally. And from that space of groundedness, invite expansion. The spine rising tall, the crown rising towards the vast open sky. Your heart space wide open as the shoulders relax. Close your eyes or steady a soft gaze just ahead at one spot at eye level. Rest your hands in a mudra that helps to cultivate the energy of your intention. Balance. You might bring the fingertips to touch of each hand, connecting to the 5 elements of nature. Groundedness, you might turn the palms face down, thumb and index fingers might touch. Equanimity, palms face up, at the center of your lap, thumb tips touching. Or maybe a hand to the heart center, a hand to the lower belly. Now bring your awareness to the breath. Like we have been doing, allow it to flow in its own. Sometimes when we pay attention to the breath, we start to alter it. Let go of any doing in the breathing. Let your body be breathed. Rest your awareness for a moment in the space in your body in which you can really tune into the breath, just as it is. And with each natural release of the breath, let yourself sink deeper and deeper into relaxed awareness. Make it easy for yourself to be present for you. And with each gentle, subtle inhalation, Feel your connection to your inner being, that deep well of wisdom that flows through you. You might call it intuition, inner knowing. In self-inquiry meditation, we pose a question, an open-ended question, to our wisdom within. And rather than contriving an answer with the mind, we just allow space to listen, to be open. Our intuition doesn't always communicate like the mind. Sometimes we receive messages through symbols like we do when we're dreaming, or through visions, or through felt sense. And sometimes the answer doesn't arise instantaneously. Sometimes it needs to breathe a while, and it might hit us later when we're not formally in meditation and we're doing our grocery shopping or something else. So we ask the question and we trust and allow. We surrender to paying attention. So here's a question for our full moon practice with a theme of change. And feel free to word it in a way that most resonates with you, that's most relevant to you right now. I invite you to ask your inner being, in what area of my life am I wanting to create change? In what area in my life am I wanting to create change? Let's hold space for a minute, practicing inward listening. The next question that I invite you to ask your inner being is, how can I balance effort with ease in my approach to this change? How can I balance effort and ease in my approach to this change? Let's sit for another minute. As we speak about change, notice what comes up for you. Is there a reaction in the body that you can feel? You might place your hands at the heart or the place in your body in which you feel a shift. And extend yourself loving kindness and compassion. If change is challenging for you, know that you're not alone. Breathe in whatever you're feeling right now, including discomfort if so. And as you exhale, imagine all the other creatures and humans that might be on a similar boat, feeling something similar towards change or whatever it is that you feel, and send them some thought of relief, some thought of loving kindness, an emotion of kindness, just as you extend it to yourself. What's something that you can feel genuine gratitude for at this moment? Recall your intention for this full moon practice. And remember, if you dedicated it to someone or something, you might now picture them receiving benefit from your practice. Let's close together chanting 3 ohms. Inhale deeply. Towards the wisdom within. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.